You know, we do have one superhero here today, and that is a woman who's been very successful in her own right in terms of her American Family Insurance business that she has. In addition to that, she's done a lot of fundraising efforts for us, and on top of that, she served as a foster family and to date has welcomed 13 foster children into her home. This time, I'd like to introduce you to Nicole Feltz, a real Wonder Woman.
All right. Oh, I have my box of Kleenex. Awesome! They're already preparing for this. That's fantastic. All right, I'm Nicole. Thank you guys for all being here today. Quickly, I just want to share a quick story how my life kind of runs day to day. So, KVC called and asked my husband if he would be interested in a 7-month-old baby girl. Ty listened, said, sounds like a beautiful story. I just don't think we can add a baby to the mix right now. They hung up. Ty called me and said, hey, KVC called me. They called me, and I said, I got to grab this call. I'll call you right back. So I answered the phone, and I said, Ty Feltz doesn't know anything he's talking about. He's crazy. We'll take her. What hospital is she at? The lady's like, all right. Well, in the haste of trying to figure out who to call back, they called him back to tell him what hospital she was at. He's like, I think there's been a terrible mistake. We're not taking a baby. And she's like, is your wife Nicole? He's like, yes. She's like, yes, you are. She's heading to the hospital. Thanks. Talk to you later. So that is our normal day-to-day. So people often ask me, why do we foster? Here's my why. I grew up in Kansas City, Kansas. Unfortunately, my mom was an alcoholic, and I witnessed her getting beaten daily. I pulled men off her, I patched her up, I carried her to bed, and many other things that no child should ever experience. My mom told me a couple years ago that she would put me in my crib and leave for the bar on Friday night. When she got back on Sunday, she could hear me screaming from our apartment building. I was a victim of sexual abuse on multiple occasions, and at the age of 5, I became a mother to my baby brother. I had to step into many roles at such a young age. As I got older, I would skip school if my mom wasn't home to care for him, load him into my backpack, and carry him around looking for food stamps or going to grocery stores asking for food. I was removed from my mom's care many times. I was finally taken and placed in the Salvation Army Children's Shelter in Kansas City, Missouri at the age of 10. A June and Ward Cleaver type of family from northern Missouri, farm town, very hick farm town, came to get my brother and I. To say the least, it was a complete opposite life that we had with my biological mother. They took very good care of us, exposed us to the world, and mainly kindness. The whole experience gave me such a drastic picture of what life could look like. I had such a drive and motivation to get out into the world and prove myself. I had always been rejected, abandoned, taken advantage of, and the underdog in life. Things never seemed normal or settled for me. I didn't want to be a victim anymore. I wanted to dream big. I didn't want to dream in a battered box. I had a fighter spirit, but eventually learned to channel that fight into something positive. I realized that sometimes your only option is to be strong. I also realized that giving back and encouraging children made me feel whole again, that I controlled my future and I had power. Fast forward to the day that my husband Ty and I welcomed our daughter Grace into the world. Her birth was an epiphany. We knew that so many children would not have the safe, happy childhood that she would. And holding on to my precious baby girl and knowing my background made me realize I hadn't gone through all that pain and hurt for nothing. I wasn't going to shove it under a rock. I needed to do something positive with it. We started a fundraiser event with just 10 people in our kitchen. I'm happy to report that 11 years later, more than 500 people attend our Feltz Family Midwinter Blues event, and we raised almost $10,000 this year. This past February, it was held at the KVC's Ball Conference Center. The money raised is helping children and families throughout Kansas City and the new KVC Institute. About 4 years ago, there was another terrible story about child abuse on the evening news that got my husband and I talking. I said, someone has to do something. This is crazy. My husband looked over at me and said, you're someone. He was right. I won't admit that ever again, Tyler Feltz. But he was right. I was tired of listening, and I was ready to act. We became foster parents with KVC and have cared for 13 children so far. The most surprising thing about foster care is that it's the routine and the normalcy that the children crave the most. It's the simple things that we do as a family that they love, like sit down to dinner and talk as a family and go to activities. For children that are used to yelling and fighting, just having a peaceful home means the world. I know from experience. As Wayne said, many of the children have experienced horrific events that are terribly scary. One time when I was in my kitchen with the little boy we were fostering, I dropped a pan. He immediately hit the ground and covered his head. I was completely perplexed and asked him if everything was all right and what was wrong. He said, I thought you were going to hit me. How sad is it that his past experiences made him jump to that conclusion? Other children have insisted on standing at our kitchen table so they can run if they need to for safety. What in the world have these children seen at 3, 4, and 5 that this is their view of the world? When I picked up the baby girl at the hospital, she had a onesie and a diaper to her name. How bright does her future look? As foster parents, we rely on the Everyday Heroes program. KVC's Everyday Heroes monthly giving program is the engine that keeps important work going day after day. We need more foster parents, and I'm happy to talk to you today if you have any questions. If you want to help in another way, KVC created Everyday Heroes, and that's for you. It's a monthly giving program that allows you to fill in critical funding gaps to enhance the lives of children and families. Will you consider making such a gift of $50, $35, or $25 a month? As an everyday hero, your support will fund things like 12 months of in-home support after a child has been reunited with his birth family or has been adopted, sponsoring our annual Resource Family Conference, which provides training for foster parents, and the families stay in a hotel with a pool. For many children, this is their first vacation. Extracurricular activities for children in foster care, such as soccer uniform, prom dress, or trumpet. Here's a hysterical story. We had a 6-year-old last year. She wanted to do soccer. We signed her up. We got her out on the field, and she took off across all 4 fields. And we were like, oh my gosh, and she was giggling and laughing the whole way. That was provided by the Everyday Heroes program. She loved it, she had a blast, and that's her memory for life. Everyday Heroes also provides an incredible training and evidence-based practices that really make a difference for families. We call this raising the bar in child welfare. We're doing that through the new KVC Institute in Olathe. KVC's goal, obviously, is to keep families together. They help tens of thousands of children and adults each year by going into their homes and providing in-home therapy and other services. In some areas, when they are called in to help a family in crisis, their success of keeping families intact with their children is 94%. That is really an amazing statistic, 94%. So much of the work they do is about preventing foster care or safely speeding up foster care because children grow best in families, and whenever it's safe, their own families. I want to echo what Wayne said. If you can be a foster parent, please consider it. Come talk to me after the luncheon. It will change your life in so many wonderful ways. But if you're not, please support children and families by becoming an everyday hero. Because of caring individuals like you guys, I made it. I made it, and I'm really happy. I really am happy. Thank you. I don't know who the people are that supported me. I don't know who wrote checks and donations. And I can't thank them, but I am thanking you. Thank you for caring for these children. I needed you when my mom took off for days, and I needed you when I stood outside a grocery store asking for food with my brother in a backpack. And now we need you to be the hero for these children. There are 500 people in this room. There are close to 600 children in Johnson County. If everyone in this room supports one child, we could start a ripple of kindness and hope. I'd like to end on my favorite quote. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you guys so much.